Our topic is the memorization in chapter 60. Back then, memory ruled before the books. Memory was how info was passed down from generation to generation. And sadly, in this day and age, memory has gone out of mind. Our proof one is there are different techniques for memorization. One technique was finding imaginary places to store memory. As a student of literature would find a quiet place to equip his mind with imaginary places to store the thing he was memorizing. And this was not uncommon back then. In my years of schooling, I can relate to this because we had to memorize many things, such as poetry and lines from the Aeneid and Odyssey. My proof two is memory was a skill that became a virtue. An aspect of the virtue of prudence. Memory was used to spread the gospel. And St. Thomas Aquinas, biographers said that he had memorized everything from his teachers. Colin Albertus Magnus helped Aquinas train his memory. In my 4 years of school, memory is very important because it will hopefully help us out in the near future.
Now, in chapter 60 of the Discoverers, which is mainly focused on memorization, Aeschylus says that memory is the mother of all wisdom. And Cicero also discussed how wisdom is the treasury and guardian of all things. And in my personal experience, I find Aeschylus' quote, "Memory is the mother of wisdom," to be very true. For one reason is because memorization, after completely completed, does not need any reference points. So any other method of studying, like, flashcards, you need something physical to help you study. But once you have something memorized in your brain, you can just pull it out of your brain. You don't need anything to help you. And this is why it's the mother of all wisdom and all studying methods, I guess. And it's also the oldest form of storytelling, as told in the Discoverers. Way back before they had books, they would just tell stories orally down to generations. And so therefore, since it's the oldest, it is the mother. And also, mastering memory leads to mastering studying in general. There's so much of studying, probably 90% of it, that's simply memorizing. For example, in science, you have to memorize so many different formulas and plug different numbers in for those formulas. That's pretty much all science is. Same for math. You have all these addition, subtraction, multiplication at first, and then you build on it, and then there's all these different laws that you need to memorize. And all these layers of memorization lead you to be able to complete complex equations. And because it is this mother of everything, it needs to be held with more importance than it is today. In conclusion, memorization has been significant in years past. However, it is not held to a high enough importance today. People devised many ways to memorize things back in the day. They used many different methods, and some people simply stuck to one method, some people used different ones. And people said that wisdom is the mother of all wisdom. No. People said that memory is the mother of all wisdom. It even was valued as a virtue in these times, same as courage and faithfulness. That's how important it was. And this matters to all high schoolers and students in general, college students, middle school, elementary school, because they need to master memorization. It's easy to read something and be like, oh, I'll just read this once. I don't need to memorize all these different points. But this is not the way to go about things. Implementing memorization into your daily study routine is the way to go and is the way to make good grades. And this is how these memorization tactics in the past relate to present time and to our high school experience. Thank you. This was our impromptu speech. Nolan, Crockett, and Zach Payne.
Good job, guys.
Thank you.